Hey, fifth grade. Today for our word work lesson, we are going to take a look at our list to Greek and Latin roots and affixes notes. By the way, this is what you will need to study in order to prepare for the mid-test and the post-test. So normally when we have a quiz over these kinds of things, we would see that in our homework. We would see study list 2 Greek and Latin roots and affixes quiz on Friday. And then you guys know that we would do something a little different with each of those, or each day with those words. And hopefully by the time we get to the mid-test, we've got most of it down, and then the mid-test just reveals what we still need to focus on, and we can do that and then take our post-test, and hopefully we rock it out. Today, we're going to start by taking a look at the notes page. So that's going to be found up here where it says your work. You'll click on that, and you will see that we have the root or the affix. We have whether it is Greek or Latin or neither. We have what the definition of the root means. So when we attach it to a word, this is how it changes the definition of the word. It's what it brings to the party. Then we have examples of words that contain the root. And so if a word contains one of these roots, it should have the letter combination that we see over here. So in this case, DIS. And we should also see some form or fashion of the definition of the root in the definition of the word. If you guys will remember when I taught this the first time that we learned a list of roots and affixes, we repeated over and over and over. The definition of the root must be in the definition of the word. And if you look at this example word, the word is disconnect, and it means the opposite of connect, or to bring together. So we can see the opposite of in the definition of this word. So it has the letters and it has the definition of the root in it, therefore it contains the root. So we would normally pair up and grab a dictionary, and we would look for other words that contain the DIS root or affix. Then we would go ahead and do the same thing for the rest of the list. I want to point out that these are going to be very easy to do that with, because you just go to the dictionary and you just go to that section and you just look down the line for words that have some part of this definition in them. These are going to be a little bit trickier because you're going to have to use some critical thinking. You're going to have to think of words you know that have that ending in it, and then you're going to have to look it up in the dictionary to see if it truly does contain the word or if it's just the letters. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to go back to the Google assignment. I'll move this out of the way. And you have two things attached to it. You have some scanned in dictionary pages, and then you have the online children's dictionary, which will allow you to search for words. You're going to use this attachment for the first 3 roots on your notes page, and you're going to use this for the last 2 on your notes page, because you're going to have to think of a word that you know and then look it up in the dictionary. So I'm going to do one of each to demonstrate, and then hopefully you guys will be able to do the rest no problem on your own. So I'm going to kind of bounce back and forth between this page and the notes page that I already have open up here. So this is a scanned dictionary page, and you can, if you'll remember, we're looking for any words that have the DIS letter combination. So if we find some of those, and by the way, there's a whole bunch right here on the page, we're going to be looking for some things in the definition. Now, remember, sometimes they don't use the exact words that our definition of our root uses, but if it means the same thing, then that root is probably there. So if we look at the word disability, and then we look at the definition. We definitely see the DIS letter combination is there. Now let's look at the definition. The condition of not being able or fit to do something. I remember that on the notes page, the definition said apart, away, not were the opposite. So when I jump back to this page and I read that definition, the condition of not being able to, able or fit to do something, I know that that word has the root DIS in it because it has the letters and it has the definition. So I'm coming back here and I'm going to highlight where it says type your words here, and I'm going to type the word disability because that was another word that contained the root. You're going to continue to do this for each of these first three. So you'll just come back here and you can see that I've scanned in quite a few of those so that you can do that. So you'll do that for each of those first three roots. And just find 2 or 3 example words. I'm not counting them. I just want to know that you know how to determine if a word does indeed contain the root. For demonstration purposes, though, I'm going to jump back to this, and I'm going to go down to the LESS affix, because this is the one that I can't use that dictionary page for. I have to actually think about words that I know, and then I have to search for them. So I am looking at the definition. It means without. And so then when I look at the list of example words, I see helpless means without help. Fearless means without fear. Homeless means without a home. So if I use my critical thinking skills, I may not even have to verify this in the dictionary. If I were to look up the word meaningless, like it has the LESS, and I think that it probably means without meaning. If I would go back to the Google assignment and click on this resource, the dictionary, I could type the word meaningless here, or thoughtless. It looks like I did that earlier. So let's just go with thoughtless. If I type that, when I look at the definition, it means not thinking enough, showing little care. That doesn't say anything about without thought, but it does mean without thought. So even though the word without isn't there, it does show that it has that root in there. Let's take another look at meaningless. Let's see what happens when I type that. Empty of meaning. So that does mean without meaning. Even though it doesn't have the word without, empty of means the same thing. So I'm going to jump back up here, and I actually found 2 of those words while we were searching in the dictionary. So I'm going to add thoughtless and meaningless. And so hopefully you guys understand how to bounce back and forth between the 2 different dictionaries, the one that you search for and the one that you just scan the page and check the definitions. And you will get 2 or 3 words for each of these roots and affixes. And then, like the directions state, you'll click the turn in button. So please let me know if you have any questions or if you're confused about anything. I miss you guys, and I cannot wait to see you. Have a good one.